This was the Cowboy practice field at Thousand Oaks yesterday afternoon. There's some strange numbers being worn by the running backs out there for a variety of reasons. Calvin Hill is in number 37. Roger Staubach has resurrected number 17 for the purposes of this practice. The guy who's in shorts is Walt Garrison. None of that's surprising because it's a rather ordinary session on a Tuesday afternoon. But there's one number who is missing. Number 33, Duane Thomas, did not show up for practice. Coach, it's now after midnight West Coast time. Duane missed practice in the afternoon, the evening meeting. At what point was a decision made to trade him to San Diego?
Well, actually, the decision was made this evening. As you know, we're on a deadline right tonight at midnight with the American Football Conference. And we had an opportunity to trade him, which I felt was good for our club. We needed some help at the running back spot, and so we went ahead and made the trade that involved Thomas.
Was the interleague deadline the important factor, or his missing practice and team meetings?
Well, I think the fact of missing today was a big factor in our decision to go ahead. And the fact that we did have the deadline of the American Football Conference just made it seem right to do it now, because I felt it was time now maybe to give Duane another chance to work with maybe another club. He's had a lot of problems with our club through the last couple of years, and possibly this will be a better move for him. I don't really know.
Coach, you've said time and time again, you've exhibited time and time again that you were a man of patience. Was your patience just at the breaking point by the latest episode?
Well, I don't know that my patience is ever at the breaking point. I do things basically by feel, what I think is best for this team, and I think that we have shown a great deal of patience in handling in this particular situation, of trying to point out the things that were necessary, you know, for Duane to go on with us. And when he doesn't follow this, then we reach a point where we think it's best for the team not to go ahead with him. It was a long, kind of sad, but obviously momentous day for the Dallas Cowboys, beginning, as you saw, with Duane Thomas's absence from practice in the afternoon, going from there to a meeting with Tom Landry that apparently bore no fruit, and culminating in his trade just before midnight to the San Diego Chargers. There's a sense of deja vu about all of this, as though we've all been through it before. The reason for that, of course, was the Thomas trade last year, the abortive Thomas trade to the New England Patriots. So an era in the Cowboy history is gone. Duane Thomas now with the San Diego Chargers. In a way, it's kind of sad. This is Verne Lundquist with the Dallas Cowboys for Channel 8 Sports in Thousand Oaks, California.
What's to keep someone like myself, who knows absolutely nothing about boats, to go down and buy a boat and come on back and put it on this lake and possibly endanger the lives of some other people? Is there any law that keeps me from doing that?
No, there isn't.
What do you do about that? Do you just have to try to be extra strict in your enforcement of the law?
Well, first of all, we'd like to educate the people as to what the law is and hope that they would abide by it.
Do you have enough men to enforce the laws that we have now?
Well, we never have enough men.
So as you can see, there's no real pat answer for the problem. It's going to kind of be up to the Parks and Wildlife People's Enforcement Division here on the lakes in Texas, and you, the individual boat owner and operator. This is Malcolm Landess for Channel 8 News on the Move at Lake Ray Hubbard.
What do the youngsters have to do to reach the national championships here?
They must place first, second, or third in either a state championship or one of the regional championships around the country. There are 9 regions, so we have first, second, and third place going from all 9 regions there in these events.
Some of these youngsters really get to moving on. How fast do they get to go?
I would imagine they probably would clock out somewhere between 20, 25 miles an hour someplace.
We're working on that now, and we'll know by tomorrow after we get all of our figures
Where do you
in.
propose right now to get your $3.3 million from?
Well, we propose to get it from either the local, the state, or other sources.
Then you're not sure right now
That's
if
right.
this is going to go through.
That's right.
Someone like our own Senator Lloyd Benson or Chairman Wilbur Mills of Arkansas would certainly be more acceptable than Mr. Eagleton was, and I think that the people of this caliber would certainly make the ticket have a better chance in Texas than with Mr. Eagleton on it.
There were a lot of people with whom Senator Eagleton wasn't popular in the first place. How much damage do you think this has done to the Democratic ticket?
Oh, probably it could improve the Democratic ticket because, generally speaking, they've always used the vice presidential nominee to kind of balance the ticket. And in this case, I don't think he did. So I think Mr. McGovern has an opportunity now to better balance the ticket than he did before.
Right now, more than 1 million cars are registered in Dallas and Tarrant counties, but studies show this figure will more than double by 1990. And these projections were the basis for the arguments presented to the Highway Commission, arguments summarized by Mayor Wise in his return to Dallas this afternoon.
Well, of course, the entire region is burgeoning in terms of population, growth, progress. There is no end in sight, really. All of the projections, all of the surveys seem to indicate that by the year 1990 or so, we'll need additional arteries for twice as much population.
This is below our proposal for a beginning salary. We had proposed a $7,200 beginning, and I will have to refer this schedule to our executive board and to our faculty assembly before we have any official position on it.
it happens to be the board's judgment that it is better to take the colleges to the people than it is to have one huge monolithic deal with 40,000 people converging on it. And I think that the wisdom of their position is fairly obvious. So yes, they need the educational services that the three colleges will provide. There are other ways of handling it which I think are less desirable in the approach being used here.
And what would some of those other ways be?
One would be a monolith. We could have gone, we could have spent $41.5 million on a monolith here and not had any suburban campuses. This is physically possible, but it would aggravate an already aggravating situation if you come downtown every morning.
The largest delegation in the group was from Dallas, about 70 altogether, headed by Mayor Wes Wise. The idea was to present a united front to the Highway Commission as a way to back a request for feasibility studies for a new multi-lane highway between Dallas and Fort Worth. And this is the reason local leaders feel there is a need for such a highway, the increasing traffic flow in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But the traffic volume between Dallas and Fort Worth will not be traveling over a new artery anytime in the near future, even if the Highway Commission agrees to today's request, because for a highway to be planned and then built requires about 7 years. Jack Hill, Channel 8 News on the Move.